2. As young pack members, we didn't yet learn the ritual of magically enchanting clothing and other items to shift with us, or disappear into other forms when they aren't worn. It was also a way for items to shift sizes with our forms, allowing us not only to wear backpacks and them melding into forms that can use them, but allowing us to hold weapons in one form, and it gets larger in our warrior form, not meant for a werewolf. A claymore is a large two-handed sword for a human, but if the handle grew in size, it was a large sword in the claws of a werewolf trying to use it. Armor used to be leather and metal, and has become made in different materials by humans, but before our skin could be hardened with spiritual abilities, we would need to wear something tougher that increased or decreased in size fitting our bodies before we got into nasty fights. Days after our recent chase exercise, we ran on the track. That's a large, mostly oval shape like many tracks, but was nearly half a mile long, and had tree limbs at different points that were meant to be ducked, dodged, jumped over, or whatever came to mind of the person running. As I walked again, pacing myself before a short jog, since I had trouble breathing that day, I heard Brownface from far ahead.
"What? Still can't keep up, Runt?"
Chuckles belted out from both Brownface and Tree Shredder. The young pack members were far ahead, and none of us ever kept up with Fox. Most of the time, a pack-given name, like Runt, was playful, a joke of something for which the person was known. It isn't just a nickname, but a given name, and you would be known for years. A true name given by spirits is something more special. When my true name was whispered by the spirits to me alone during our naming ceremony, I flinched, not knowing how to react. Telling the rest of the pack members I was not sure if I heard the spiritually given name, they didn't believe me. The others couldn't convince the spirits or me to tell them over quite some time what they had named me. Both Brownface and Tree Shredder came up with my pack name. Monkey Feet didn't like it, but her heart fell under the two dominant personalities of our young pack. Fox did not like the name either, but he was not part of the ceremony. Young pack members decided by tradition, and pack peers chose these things if there was a name for the ceremony. Other young ones in different packs found that the nickname also stuck after hearing the many stories of my non-exploits when they rarely came by. If one could not be decided, the alpha would choose. There was silent betting that my given name was worse than Runt. B, F, and TS thought of worse names that the spirit must have given me, and thought it would be fun to bring them up. Brownface was heard from nearly 100 yards away. There was silent betting that my given name was worse than Runt. BF and TS thought of worse names that the spirit must have given me, and thought it would be fun to bring them up. BF was heard from nearly 100 yards away.
"We are going to lap you again, Shrimp, better hurry up." "That was it, wasn't it? Sorry, Shrimp." "Maybe it was Wimpy Wolfkin, or Old Man Child." "Did the spirits make fun of you, Runt?"
Fox had added in an incentive to try to get me to speed up or keep up with the rest of them by making anyone who was lapped by another do another chore for the week, but it only ended in ridicule when I had trouble breathing and collapsed on the side of the track. Fox rushed over when he saw me fall between the trees, but I could still breathe. Fox stopped until he heard me say he could go ahead. Brownface mocked me again.
"Ah, look who had to stop. Alpha has to make special rules because the baby can't jog. Boo-hoo."
TS chuckled and pushed BF to keep going. Not long after that, however, I had to slow down and even stop. My head swam, and I remember my mouth getting so dry that day. We had only been jogging for 5 minutes and needed to continue for the day. Fox just jogged ahead trying to keep the others moving. Being a werewolf, I would eventually heal and continue, did every time, but didn't stop the looks as the others lapped me again. TS said not too quietly.
"Maybe we can lap Alpha too, when he stops again. Then he'll need to do a chore this week."
BF had a hearty laugh thinking that it was hilarious, and he continued down the track. Fox tried to ignore them, but his inner wolf forced him to compete and train, like it did for the rest of us. I heard Fox's inner wolf after he stopped again, and his eyes darted from me to the rest of them. I saw his mind whirling trying to decide his next steps through his eyes.
"This boy isn't my responsibility. The whole pack is. And if Runt needed to be in the pack, the rest of us need to be stronger to make up for his weakness."
Fox shot up quickly and ran. The others couldn't possibly keep up, as his feet made dents in the hard-packed ground. The teasing continued as BF ran by again. I was back on my feet trying to walk quickly, but he pushed me to the side, knocking me off my feet. I fell off of the track, twisted my ankle, and braced my fall with my hands on an uneven rock, unluckily laying on the ground, hurting my wrists. The teasing was usual, but sometimes it got out of hand. Fox was not our dad or older brother of the pack, and he rarely interfered after a while. He used to, but he kept on trying to help me speak up for myself. When he did stop the mocking or ridicule directly, hours later it was forgotten, and the bullying would start again as though nothing was different. There was often a subject for BF to choose when bullying me as a younger, weaker, meekly speaking, often sickly kid. The only things that gave me any comfort were small spirits who stayed around our camp area. If not being mocked trying to live life and be with the pack, I was mocked for being a little goody two-bare-feet with the spirits. Often playing with them, speaking to them in their world, and as BF mocked, they were my only friends. Monkey Feet and I got along, but any time she tried to be there to help, we both got a vicious tongue lashing from Brownface or his backup. I lost a lot of muscle barely surviving many years ago before being found. Even as a werewolf teen, I was skinny, my muscles didn't form, and I couldn't eat like the rest of them. I ate, of course, but couldn't stomach nearly as much as all of the rest, so often getting queasy. I was full quickly, yet hungry again soon after that. That wasn't as much of a thing to be mocked compared to everything else. The alpha has tried to bring confidence to me, the smallest of the pack, but things had always turned out to be a burden on me as the little one. The pack worked well together in many practice fights. We had taken down a few small, vengeful spirits at a time. The spiritual realm allowed us to practice many duels that would normally be impossible in the regular, material realm. The spirits provided creative means of torture. Training over the years. The spiritual realm was a strategic battleground of created imagery and spiritual creation. The strength is not written or known of the spirit's capabilities until we share that strength with the pack. Spiritual energy is given to spirit guides in a sort of bribe. Regular communication and time bringing it energy to absorb, all of these things strengthen the bond between a pack spirit and its pack. Spiritual energy is given to spirit guides in a sort of bribe. Regular communication and time bringing it energy to absorb, all of these things strengthen the bond between a pack spirit and its pack. Since I didn't usually feel like being a member of the pack when Brownface was in one of his good moods, usually meaning I was the butt of every joke, I'd leave to the spirit realm to spend time with any spirit around. Entering the spirit realm was simple while we were out in the woods, communing with nature. From what I heard at the time, it was much more difficult in the cities due to the complexity of the spiritual energy, which had gotten much weaker over the recent centuries. Cities were usually handled by beings and creations of Nova. Other wolves had gotten used to staying within its territory for many reasons. Werewolves rarely live in cities, but some still did, along with many humans who were thought of as creations of Nova, along with buildings, streets, lights, and electricity. Wolves would either try to thrive in it to help wolves that lived there, or to help those who found their way into a city to do the usual work for Gaia. I grew up there all of those early years and wondered about cities, but all of the things said of them made me think of different possibilities. Talking to spirits over many years, I wondered why cities were supposedly harder to push into or back out of the spirit realm. Was that by the design of Nova? Did the spirit representation of innovation force this difference accidentally, or did it want it like this? As a pack, we learned and grew in a large territory called the nation, but through the rest of the country there were many areas of extreme decay which were thought of as the reasons for Lato, but there was also a whole lot of representation of Nova. This far-off thinking was confusing, but any time breaching the subject, I was told to simply follow tradition. Our tribe's tent area was about the size of a cul-de-sac with 5 large homes. We lived in large old-fashioned tents that flapped open throughout the day. We didn't truly have valuables that we needed to keep track of that we did not keep with us, and anyone messing with us would be in for a rude awakening. Another pack of 4 lived with us, who usually kept to themselves, and for the most part had lived long lives protecting and fighting for Gaia. On rare occasions, they went out to do quests as the spirits required of them. Within a quarter mile, there was a river that fed a lake, which flowed away as well. It was prized territory, and we guarded it as best as we could. We got decently fresh water from the river feeding the lake, and there were fish in the lake. Anyone other than the tribe trying to fish the lake was rudely directed to go away. 8 humans lived with us and knew of us. Some were mates of other werewolves. One was a story keeper, one an elder, one tribe lead who had passed his prime, one tended the rabbit farm, one handled the food and water supply. Days after the last chase, Fox caught me trying to spend time with the rabbits again.
You aren't considering letting them go again, are you? They smell the predator on you and can't run. They quiver in your hands because when you grab them, they don't just think. They know you're going to kill them. It is why when you release one, it jumps away from you.
Trying to help Fox see my side, I said,
Alpha, I am almost as fragile as these little things here. They shiver until I pick them up and let me pet them, see?
Holding one, it shivered and tried to jump away when I lifted my hand, but then dropped it down again, stopping its escape. I could feel the slamming and quickening heartbeat in my palm. Its body heat rippled through its ears like a small heater about to feel like my hand was going to burn. Fox tried to convince me of his view as well.
Boy, you will learn. When you get a bit older, you will keep getting hungry if you only eat veggies and little bits of meat. We are big warriors and everything must eat. You are too scrawny. Need some meat on your bones.
He finished slapping my back, finally asking something that has been on my mind for a while.
What if I am not meant to be a warrior? There needs to be mechanics, or ritualists with us, doesn't there? Or I could learn a bunch of stuff and be a doctor? I think I have a knack for trying to do spiritual things.
I remember feeling like it was hard to breathe even trying to discuss this sort of thing. The other pack members that lived with us, not my own pack, told me to defend myself to Fox. It was much easier to talk to them than my own alpha. My head and heart pounded waiting on his reply, taking too long.
I won't be big and strong like the rest of you. Not to mention what the spirits named me, I'm worried.
You still won't tell me what they named you, will you? From what I hear, when your pack mates were given our names during the ceremony, you were given yours and no one else could hear your name that they called you.
No way, it was so mean I don't know what anyone else would say, even you. I think they whispered it to me on purpose, I don't know what to make of it. Not to mention, if BF and TS got a hold of that info, they'd never let me hear the end of it.
Having done what I could to not discuss my name ceremony with Fox for some time, he still kept asking. Fox answered this time.
That is part of what we are here to answer, what the spirits have in store for us, and it is up to me to teach you what it is that they mean. I have a lot more experience with this than you. I am here to support and guide. If you even whispered into my ear, I swear to Gaia herself that I will not tell another soul.
You swear to me that what the spirits told me you will tell not another soul, including spirits? I don't want you acting differently with the others.
I swear, they must have told you something serious if you are so worried.
Walking closer to Fox, I fidgeted more than the bunny in my hands. When we got within 5 yards of Fox, the rabbit became squeamish and shook like it vibrated in my hands. Moving closer, the bunny bit down on my hand. After release, it hopped off in any direction that was away from the predator wolf in front of it or the 2 predators behind it. Fox patted my shoulder.
You see, buddy, we are only predators.
Still shaking, I moved closer, but stopped myself and pulled away, shaking my head.
I can't do it. No one should know what the spirits have in store for me.
A headache formed behind my eyes as I walked a few feet away. He shook his head also.
Okay, kid, keep your secret, but you'll have to tell me one day. I'll understand. Come on, today is a big day for spiritual training.
He knew how to dial me down. Smiling as we walked back toward the others, I remember that it was the most fun part of my week when we went over spirit stuff. Not usually if I had to memorize anything, but usually when we talked about them in general, they were just so much more interesting. The rest of the tribe wasn't thrilled when I let the rabbits loose weeks ago, and took quite a bit of money to get the farm back up, so he followed the process of a small entry and exit room so that no rabbits could rush out of a door. Fox made sure the door was closed behind us.